Fahad, what are we trying to do?
Welcome to Brown Dentist, guys. This is our first podcast. My name is Dr. Ahad, and I have with me is my friend Dr. Fahad Siddiqui. And when I'm
Yes.
saying that he's here, he's actually not here with me. He's in Michigan. He's in Dearborn, Michigan.
Exactly.
Okay,
And Ahad, you gotta, you need to know that this is not brown dentists, it is two brown dentists because one of them
I messed it up.
is in Dearborn, Michigan, and one of them is in Corpus Christi.
If you guys can tell me where Corpus Christi is without using Google Maps, I'll move out of Corpus Christi, and that's a promise. Because I
Wow.
had no idea where Corpus Christi was.
That would be a hard one because honestly, I didn't know either,
Exactly. I mean,
unless Ahad told me.
even I didn't know where it
Yeah.
was. Just the only word. I mean, corpus was one word that I heard in anatomy. It was corpus callosum and corpus luteum, and the third one is Corpus Christi.
Christi was my chemistry teacher.
Okay.
So that's the only Christy I had heard before you moved to Corpus Christi. She was my teacher in 8th grade, I think, and all my friends from that my school would relate to it and would know who I'm talking about.
But this Christi
She was
is
nice.
Christ.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
So it means
we
the
learned
body
new
of
things.
Christ.
Maybe her name meant the same thing,
Of
man.
course, yeah.
So
It's Latin.
yeah,
Anyways, Fahad, what are we doing today?
right. So basically, what we are trying to do, and me and Ahad have been thinking for a long time, is that we both of us have what we call in Urdu a kida. Uh, it is to do something, different, something creative. Although we are dentists, but we have always like been into producing music, making music, or making videos, things like that. But unfortunately, life you know, never worked out that way that Ahad and me could have the right circumstances, and we'll get into that to execute our plans. So when we were together, sometimes we didn't have the means to do what we wanted to do, and now that we may have some means to do, but we are not together. So we're like, man, just screw it. We'll do whatever we can, and we'll do it remotely, and that's why we are miles away. But we're trying to do what our passion is, uh, outside of dentistry, but connected to dentistry somewhat. This discussion started maybe a few weeks ago, and Ahad and I were thinking that uh, we should do something for the people, for us, that could be a discussion about different things. First of all, we are dentists and we are internationally trained, and now we are living and working in the U.S. So we get a lot of questions, obviously, from people who are aspiring, who want to do things here, and we try to help them as much as we can. But sometimes we usually, we don't have the time or we don't really know the answer. So this way, we were like, okay, man, let's do something that we can open up our to many people, not just a few people who contact us through LinkedIn or Facebook. Let's just open it and put it out there, and then we can kind of grow on that. But that's just one aspect of it. But basically, what we're trying to do is we're trying to start a YouTube channel. One of the things that we're going to do is have discussions in the form of podcast. That's something that we're trying to do today. But we're also not only thinking to make it just boring, educational, just something more fun as well. And we'll look for your feedback and see what you guys want to see, what do you guys want us to do or talk about. So we'll just keep it open and reiterative at this moment, and we'll try to grow together. So please
Absolutely.
subscribe and share to as many as people, and let's grow a community and let's open a discussion.
I think that was a great intro, Fahad. But before we go further, I mean, I want to know that. I want the people to know that where you're coming from.
Yeah.
So just a brief overview, and then I'll go over.
Okay. So I did my dental. So let's go a little behind. So there is more context. I was born and raised in Saudi Arabia. I'm a Pakistani, and I after my high school I went to Pakistan to do my dental school. I spent 4 to 5 years, including the general practice residency, which we have to do as a mandatory residency, and then after that I moved to Montreal, Canada, where I met my friend Ahad, where I did my master's in dental sciences. After that, I moved to New Jersey, Rutgers University, where I did my residency in pediatric dentistry. At the moment, I am based in Dearborn, Michigan. I teach at University of Detroit Mercy, and I also do private practice.
I think there is one thing that you
So,
forgot, and
mhm,
that's one thing that's common between us is um, that I know that we play music together, we were in research
mhm.
together, we did qualitative
Yeah,
research together, and that
yes,
we both got into PhD but changed our
yes,
plans.
exactly.
So I was the one
Yeah.
who actually dropped out, but Fahad
Mm-hmm.
switched his plans.
R- yeah. In some way, we both switched our plans. So,
Yeah, but that's
um,
that's a big topic that we can also discuss, that what research
yeah,
is, and is it really for you or not?
right, right, exactly. So that would be one of our topics where we'll discuss that if you're coming as a internationally trained dentist trying to pursue a career in research in either Canada or US, what are the pros and cons? What can you do to be successful? And what do you need in addition to research to really just materialize your goals and your vision. So we'll talk about that in the upcoming episodes as well. So Ahad, so you said we did music together, we studied together. We also come from the same city. So Ahad, why don't you tell about yourself?
So my story is also similar to Fahad's, and I did my dental school from Pakistan in 2009, and after that I moved to Canada with my family. And in Canada, there were not many options for me because the clinical side was very difficult, and I really didn't have enough experience, to be honest, to go through the clinical part and start practicing dentistry. So the other option I had was to do a master's or to do something in dentistry, but really not clinical, and that's what I did. I completed my master's in 3 years. Then as I said earlier, I got into a PhD program that we're gonna talk about it later. Dropped out, uh, got into Boston University for my DMD program, did a 2 year program, and then after that, I moved to Texas. I've been practicing as a general dentist, and that's about it.
That's about it. And I know I somehow have a feeling that Ahad is using this term dropout too much because he wants to, relate himself to maybe Bill Gates or Steve Jobs and, all the
Why
successful
not?
people who
Of
dropped
course, you
out.
should.
And
I'm actually very
it's
proud of
fine.
my that I got dropped
But,
out, and also I have all the letters of rejection from every research project that I applied to, and I never got
hmm,
funded. So I have
right,
kept it in my drawer, and I look at it, and I was like, okay, things were difficult for me, but now life is good. But always remind yourself that where you're coming from. And I applied to so many
absolutely.
programs, and so many programs refused my application or never called me for interview. But it just tells you that
Right.
where you're coming from.
Sometimes, yeah, and sometimes rejections are not bad. It's just the way the nature is telling you that,
Yeah,
hey, this might not be for you. If you have been trying something, you've been putting your, and I know Ahad, like he definitely worked hard. He tried to do whatever he could, but things weren't working for him, and maybe that was just nature telling him that, hey, you need to do something else. And knowing that, and I have seen that
absolutely.
Ahad actually came back to what he wanted to do. So
And I
lesson
really
number one
believe in it
from
because
our, yeah,
Fahad, I swear to God, every grant that I applied for, every grant, I never won.
yeah.
Maybe I was not good at it, and I think nature was telling me that I think you should choose some other path. Because I do believe in rejections, but after a certain times, for 3 years straight, never got a grant. And but again,
Right.
when you see your
Yeah.
colleagues like you or so many others getting the same grant that you apply for, it just I mean, you just start to question yourself that what's going on. Um, is my project not worth it? If I don't know, there are like so many questions. But I'm glad that it did happen and I got the answer. But it's not an easy
Exactly. Yeah,
position to be in. I
but
mean, it's a very
the
difficult place.
right, of course, and there's a lot of struggle. I mean, um, when we come here to the US or to Canada, uh, we see a dream, and that's why we are so passionate, and that's why we want to come here, work hard,
Yeah.
live the way we want to. But the pathway is not as easy as many people may think. But again, it's not impossible. So that's why you just need the right guidance, and you need to work hard. You need to have an open mind. And as Ahad is saying, like you could be rejected a lot of times, but you have to believe in yourself that there is something good coming for you. You just have to work hard, but also work smart. So just don't go doing things that uh, repeatedly doing the same mistake. There is a famous quote. I don't know who said it. Maybe Alama Iqbal. No, I'm just kidding. But whoever said it, but it's like something like you can't make the same mistake for all your life. So coming back to that point, and see that right now we have a lot of thoughts, as you guys could maybe figure it out. But that's the beauty of it, that we have so much to talk about. Like, I know a few people, actually a lot of people, who keep applying to one thing and not think about other options, and they get rejected multiple times. Not saying that they shouldn't pursue their dream, but also saying that they should have some other, they should do some self realization, like Ahad did. That what you are good at, it's a different country, it's a different culture. Maybe you were a good candidate for dentistry in Pakistan, but maybe you're not here. Or maybe, you were not that great in Pakistan, and now you are very successful here. Like, if my colleagues from my dental school, um, some of them are surprised that I actually went on, did post graduation, did residencies, because I was not one of the top students in our class, and that's a reality. But you have to know that you have to work smart and you have to work hard, and things can change. You can get inspired at a later stage in your life to
Mm-hmm.
do great
Mm-hmm.
things. So it's not the end of the world. If you're not good at something today, you might be great at something tomorrow. But just realize, do what you love, and just pursue it. What do you
I
think,
think
Ahad?
yeah, I think you left it on a very good note. So I think the audience will have an idea that what this podcast will be about. Um, we're not talking about clinical dentistry per se. Uh, we're just talking about our experiences. And as I mentioned earlier, me and Fahad, we were into qualitative research. So that was about getting to understand the whole experience. So that's something that we can share, and maybe someone
Mm-hmm.
can benefit from it. Um,
Right.
and I think, yeah, I mean, you wrapped it up really well. That don't give up. But my opinion differs a little bit from Fahad, and there's no shame in it. It's just you have to keep trying. Even if you're failing, like I kept failing at every moment, but still, uh, after maybe like 10th or 15th attempt, then I was like, okay, I think something is wrong, and I have to switch my plans. But you have to keep trying. That's it.
I agree with what Ahad is saying, that you got to keep trying, but you also have to understand that um, you don't want to be trying things that you probably are not that interested in, or you are not trying the right things. Okay, so you have to be smart, you have to be open minded. Don't just get disheartened if you fail, or if things don't work out. So these are some of the things we are definitely going to talk about. This podcast is basically one of the facets of our YouTube channel. We're also going to be talking about some fun stuff, some not so fun stuff, and we may or may not, depending on your feedback, invite guests who may be useful for the audience. Um, we plan to do a lot of things, but all depends on the feedback of
I'm actually
what you
very
guys want.
interested to call people and and get to know their
Yeah,
experience.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was just thinking, there are so many things that people are already doing here in North America who were dentists before. They are doing dentistry, they're
Yeah,
doing research, they're doing teaching, they're doing marketing, they are in tens of different fields, they're doing business.
but
So the
I
thing
mean, we
is,
have so many
yeah,
success stories, yeah, and we have to
yeah.
share their experiences.
Right, exactly. So, also one more thing I want to clarify is that uh, because we are, internationally trained and we have a lot of personal experiences to share here, but we don't want to restrict this podcast to only internationally trained dentists, and we would be getting a lot into different areas. The goal is to explore the social lives, the social issues of dentists in general, um, some of the students who are aspiring to be dentists. We'll talk about from some of the students of mine who are actually going through the process and are now in dental school. Also, people who are trying to get into residency, uh, things like that. We'll talk about multiple things. So that's our plan, but all depends on how things go. So we'll leave it to that and
Absolutely,
pray to God that everything goes well.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
Ahad, what was your day like today? What did you do? Did you do anything fun?
I have my Mondays off, so I have to do a lot of things: grocery,
Hmm.
cooking, uh, paying
Yeah,
my bills, keeping up with taxes.
fun,
So no, it's not fun.
fun.
Yeah. So I mean, but I look forward to my Mondays because there's so much to do. Other than that, from Tuesday to Saturday I work, and I literally, like, I don't have any time because I work 9 to 7, and it literally, I mean, I come back at 8 sometimes. So yeah, but I'm just
So
stressed, to
Ahad
be
has a
honest,
tough
Fahad. I
life.
mean, how am I going to edit all this, and how am I going to work on the podcast? Because I only have 2 days off, trust me. So,
Yeah. Well,
so we
try
better come up with some
what
idea.
you can do is, I mean, you're smart enough. So I think that what you did, like what you planned before, um, your exercise before like working on the editing, so you can look into things like make it simple for yourself. Basically, you don't have to
Yeah, let's
do
see, let's see.
extra
I
stuff.
mean, trust me. I mean, we have no idea what we're getting into and what is the outcome. We're just going with the flow, and let's see that how it goes. Our initial plan is to
Yeah, and
upload
that's the
videos.
thing. Like we want to be raw, we want to be pure, we
Yeah,
want to be here so we can talk as friends, as buddies, as colleagues, as whatever. But we don't. We have no script as of now, as of today. Uh, it's just our thoughts. We're just trying to do something that is fun for us, fun for you, and also if someone can benefit from it, that's the goal. You're not gonna ask
absolutely.
about my day?
How was your day, Fahad? Where were you?
It was brilliant.
Were you in
I was in
Were you in
Toronto,
Canada? Okay.
Mississauga, Brampton area.
Oh
Um,
wow, where the good
it's
food is.
Oh yeah, man. I had a lot of good food. I had uh,
Good, good,
I
good.
had chicken tikka. I had bihari kebab. I
Oh
had
my God. Okay.
biryani. I had nihari, and I had faluda. But yeah, I mean, food is always a good, you know, it's a good, it's
Good.
rewarding, after working hard, you need your nihari, you need your naan and stuff like that.
I know, eh?
So we're gonna wrap it up here, and we'll look at your feedback. So please share this with people, um, with all kind of people, okay, who may benefit from it or who may not, but who may just like to listen to our, you know, us talking. I'm sure there's no one like that who'd just like to listen to us like that. But anyway, share it, subscribe it, and I hear a lot of YouTubers say something like press the bell icon. Maybe that would help us to do that. And let us know in the comment section what questions do you have, what suggestions do you have, um, anything, so we could maybe later on do a Q&A, get into specifics of different topics like how to apply for DDS, how to apply for residency, should you do MPH or should you do PhD, things like that, and then we'll go from there and see how it goes. So from me, it's bye bye, and
Mm-hmm.
I'll see you soon.
All right, guys. So we'll see you next time in the next episode. Do not forget to subscribe and share this video, please. Bye. Take care.